We are very honored to have Salim Ghauri who's the CEO and the founder of Netsol. It's also one of the top IT services company. They keep on switching #1 on the #2 slot with systems in terms of getting the award for the top IT exporter of Pakistan. And Netsol is also listed in the US, their holding company. And Salim Ghauri we're delighted to have you. Now, Asif P. Saab presented before you. So now it's your slot. Would be great to hear more about Netsol, and congratulations on your stock price, which is doing amazingly well. So over to you.
Thank you, Ali. Assalamu alaikum all. Again, great pleasure to be here. And I really want to thank KSB for creating the platform so we can talk to people who have invested in Netsol and people who may like to invest in the company. So thank you. It's a great platform. Ali, what I want to do is just have a brief history of the company. What you said was that Netsol is a services company. Let me just help you here. We are a truly product company. Total our focus have been to be a product, and all our services are towards our own product. So I'll share with you and take everyone along with me on how we have built that up. Let me just bring up my presentation. So just say share screen and
meanwhile, apologies for saying that I just used the term, but you're right. In fact, when I first came to Pakistan in London at the same time in 2017, there was an IT company which had a similar product as yours, which was a product for auto sector. And I thought your product was better. And that company did one of the hottest IPO in London. So I'm totally conscious of that. So.
Thank you very much, Ali. But it's very important to really clarify exactly what we have worked hard for. And from very early, as a founder, when the company was created and founded in 96, January, by the way, 1st January will be our 25 years completion. So a great milestone for me as a founder that I will complete my job as a CEO and the company to have come so far in 25 years. So that for me, it's a great milestone coming up. Just let me share with you. Let me see. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
So you got my presentation, yeah?
Yes, it's up on the screen. If you want, you can also do the slideshow because right now we see the PowerPoint headers as well.
Okay, let me see if my secretary can.
It's on the top left corner.
On the top left
from
corner.
Beginning. On the one up, yeah, exactly. If you press that.
Okay. Oh, she's good. Wow. I still need to learn a lot about zooming. Okay, guys. 96, as I said, is the day the company was formed. It was January, and 25 years completion. It has been a very interesting journey. We have seen very amazing ups and downs in our life. Good early days. We had good early 4 or 5 years where we were lucky to have acquired our first very international customer. Just few months after the founding, we got our very first customer in international market. And not many companies are lucky like that. So Netsol was very lucky to be able to get a customer. And the customer was a big name, world largest luxury car manufacturer. That was where we started the journey. And we are a product company because of that first contract we got. The first contract was for us to develop a system for our customer for them to lend for the captive company. Mercedes-Benz Leasing was a captive of Mercedes-Benz Germany. And they asked us to develop a system for them, a very basic system to help them in lending money to their borrowers. A small system was developed in that time, and customer liked the way we worked. The customer liked the way we developed. Our cost was very low at that time, and our quality was very high. So with that small contract, we were able to build with the same customer over the years, keep enhancing the system, making it bigger and bigger, and adding up more customers over the year. So journey was good for first 5 years, but then 2001, we saw a crash. You're very young, Ali. I don't know how old you are, but I don't know if you remember 2001 .com crash. took us down. We were a public company at that time. We were listed in NASDAQ. We had very good times before that, very exciting times. Share price was jumping up everywhere, at highest level. But 2001 crash brought us down to the reality. At certain time, I always say it was good for us to see that time because of that crash, we took our business very seriously and decided to make it, a company which is seriously process oriented. So whatever happens in the future, we will survive and will sustain. So immediately after 2001, we started focusing on developing our quality standards. And for 5 years after that, with very little money in the kitty of those days because things were really bad for the company and the revenue was very low, and we were sometimes short of the revenue. We still focused on completing our level 5. CMM level 5 was done in 2006. Now that was an achievement for our organization, and because of that CMM level 5, suddenly we came into the serious game. That was a change for Netsol at that time, and immediately people started noticing us, and company took a turn from a small company to getting very serious opportunities to develop system for big names. So 2006, 2009, 3 good years, but then terrorism in Pakistan started. Well, that was the most difficult time for at least for Netsol because we were a US listed company. Listed in USA created a lot of difficulty for us being in Pakistan. That time passed and gradually we came back, and 2014, by 14 we came back in real business, started building again. 2015, by then we have completed the life cycle of our original product, which was developed in 1997, and that product has by then generated massive revenue for us. But then we realized that we have to now redevelop the main application for today's technology. So that was started in 2013, and in 2 years we were able to attract one of the largest contract in our lifetime. That was over $100 million contract with Daimler to provide our solution in 12 countries, including Japan, Korea, Australia, New Zealand, China, the biggest market, India, Malaysia, Thailand, South Africa. So that was the biggest event in our life at that time. In 2015, we just embarked on a new application, a new development, and it was sold for that value. 2015 to today, we are building and making sure the product we now selling around the world is mature, and it has now become a very credible product in the world. In 2018, we got the second biggest customer, again a German manufacturer, and they also took our system for Chinese market. So that was a strong reference for our product, which with 2 credible largest German companies taking the application to manage the portfolio of billions of dollars in China was for us a great reference for our system at that time. Since then, we have been building and developing application and delivering the solutions we already committed. And Alhamdulillah, we have delivered about 7 countries out of 12 countries. Though in COVID, things suddenly changed for everyone working from office. And suddenly in March, we realized that we have to work from home. That was a challenge. In software development, people work together. They huddle together. It's a nature, the way systems are developed, the way complex solutions are developed by coming together. And for us to move our people out of the campus was just a challenge. But the way company has been structured, Ali, we were able to move people to their homes. 1,300 people were sent home, and they were organized in a way that everybody was able to start working from home on the systems they had to work on. And we have not lost a single day or a single hour of work because of COVID-19. So it was great, I believe, maturity in the organizations where we were able to continue our work. We have very serious commitment for multiple customers to be delivered, and we have gone live in COVID in 4 countries in last 8 months. And I believe that's remarkable because of the people and who have worked very sincerely in Netsol and very maturely. But that was a brief history. We are very mature in our industry. We represent our industry. We are a very niche market, and we have now, by acquisition, we acquired 2 companies, one in the UK and one in the USA. We can now claim to have expertise in a truly global market in lease and finance industry. In USA, we got a company which brought in the business knowledge and domain, how the financing is done in US market. And then in the UK, we got a company which was there for over 25 years at that time. We've got the European knowledge, how the lease and finance is done in Europe. We were very strong in Asia. We are the biggest, largest in China, but European and US market for us was a challenge. So by acquisition, we have got now domain knowledge for complete global market, access to the market. Let me see. At the moment, our systems being managed, managing portfolios over $200 billion. And it's a large, it's a huge size of portfolio managed on our system. So the system we sell is a truly monster of a system which can manage a portfolio over 10 to 20 to $30 billion at a time. Contracts in millions are managed. Dealers are coming in hundreds and thousands to access the system. That's kind of system. That's why the value of our system, of our license, is very, very high. One of the customers paid $40 million for one license only, and plus services. The second customer earlier paid over $100 million for 12 countries. So customers are paying a very high value for license simply because they're managing massive portfolios for their customers. We are a truly global organization because of our spread of our customers, and our customers need to support them locally. We are now in 9 centers. These all centers are very busy. London and Horsham, there are 2 centers where we're supporting our customer in the European market. In China, Beijing is our largest setup out of Lahore. We hold the biggest office space, and at one time we have over 70 Pakistani kids working in Beijing. We have to bring them back. Now they will go back once the vaccine is available, but that's our biggest center. We have the largest customer base is in China. We have captured the market. I would say, not be wrong to say, 90% of the multinational financing companies or lease and finance companies and capital companies are managing their portfolio on our system. We have taken over the market completely. Market is in our hands, and most of them obviously are using our old system, and now we are gradually moving our old customers, all our customers from our original application to the new system, which has recently been completed and already going live in China in two places. Bangkok is our sales setup. Jakarta, we have a service center because we have customers there. Australia, we have customers there. So we have a service center there. Lahore is, of course, the development center. Everything, all the work is in Lahore. People. We employ a very small team of 1,300 people, but they're all skilled. They're all technical people. They're all developers, analysts, or engineers. All of them are of that caliber. We have collected these people over the 25 years. Our retention is very high. Some of a quite percentage of people who joined me in 96, 97, 98 are still with us. We have retained them very well. Our attrition is low. We lose people to international market. Few we lose to local, but very few to the local market. So we have maintained a very well set system here to make sure people are very well taken care of. Netsol takes pride in managing their people. Netsol takes pride in giving priority to their resources. In February, when there was no lockdown at all yet, but there was talk, I had to take a decision. We had sent 70 people in China. I had to take a decision what to leave them there in the lockdown or call them back. I called them everybody back except 6 people who had the families there, who were still there. We got everybody back to the home. We could not take the risk of our people, their health. That was a decision we took. because to us, our people are the prime. They're very committed and loyal, so we also have to look after them. So everybody was brought back, and they were asked to work from here to the customers, and they were doing from Beijing and Shanghai. This is why the loyalty is very high. Each individual has been trained. We have our own training center. We maintain for the last 12 years. We maintain a very smart way of training our people. What we sell, we don't get people from the market. We have to train them, both sides in the tool set of the development and the domain knowledge. We get the value for domain knowledge. We are one of the few companies in the world which sell this domain. We compete with 3 or 4 companies only when we go into a big size RFP and big size big ticket customers. And we are one of the companies who are invited to bid, and we win some, we lose some, but we win because customers can see how much expertise we got in that business. Lending is a complex business, especially in lease and finance. It becomes very, very complex. Just give you an example of the system we sold to Chinese company. They had 150 people brought in contract to test the system. They had 14,000 test cases. They have to go through them 6 times before they can move their portfolio to our system. Took us 2 years for that test cycle. That's how complex the system is. Now, 14,000 test cases were tested again and again to see the system will perform. The number crunching is a number crunching monster, I would call them. So these people are critical. Each individual here is expert in that domain. Sometimes we know more than our customer. That's why we are asked to help our customer. So we are ahead of our customer. So Netsol's 25 years again is its domain knowledge. We've become a true expert in the business, and that's how we are recognized now. We are recognized by our expertise in lease and finance globally. This is very important. This is our first generation system. In 2000, before 2000, we were developing in small pieces. And in 2001, R1 or Netsol Financial Suite was launched as a total solution. As I said, in early days, we're just developing pieces, small chunks. And by 2000, we put it together as a complete solution for end-to-end solution for lending in lease and finance. Just to give you a little bit, what it does. You can walk into a dealer shop to take a new car, and you can select your car, and then you can ask the dealer to help you with the finance. The dealer will use a terminal with our software to create an application for your loan. Our system will do that, and that system will take care of all the needs of credit rating checking and looking at all the aspects of customers' worthiness to lend. Once that's done, that application is sent back through our system to our backend system, which will then go through the complete credit worthiness of the borrower. That is a very automated system. Within minutes, the approval can go back to the dealer, and dealer can then take the down payment, hand over the car, and person can walk away with the car, getting a contract signed, which will be printed at dealer's side. The contract will be signed with the lender, which will then manage the contract later on. So it's a quite cycle. Our biggest piece of software is the backend, which is a contract management system. That is the real value. That's a real system which we have expertise on. So that was initiated and launched in 2000. For the next, over the period, we kept developing it, we kept, working on it. And 13 years, that system has taken over the complete market in Asia. And then some of it we got into US and Europe. Gradually, we started changing the platform. And from 2008, we initiated development of the new generation, but then technology was changing. And we realized that we have to invest into new technology if we want to stay and keep our customer. So we initiated a new development. And by 2013, we had a system shaped where we had a system in a shape where we can start now going out to the customer to see if they're interested to replace the old system with the new or the new customer buying our system. over the last 20 years, R1, our first generation system, has generated revenue of $310 million. And this is our first generation system done. We still have 41 live customers generating revenue for us. Maintenance and services revenue still coming in for us. Our customers are still managing portfolio, as I see the number, 274 billion. And we don't have one system. This has got modules. And the two major modules are wholesale and retail. They both are taking care of portfolio over $200 billion. Let me take a sip. My throat is dry. Well, R1 did very well. That's our first generation system. Time for us to go to the next generation. And 4 years ago, we initiated Ascent. And for a period, when we announced that now we have a new system, our new sales took a break because all customers now wanted the new system. So, and we knew the risk. We took the risk at that time. We decided to announce to the market that now we have a new generation system, and anybody who wants, they will take a new system. Now, obviously, knowing that, we knew there would be a break in our new sales, and that happened. So for a period, there was a break, and customers said, look, we will wait for new system to be tested, and then we'll go and buy the system. But we were lucky that 2015, we got that big break with the largest name in the world, car manufacturer, and we signed that $100 million deal of 12 countries. Of them, 6 are already delivered, 6 are still being delivered. But that was the big break for a brand new system. That was a massive break for a system which is brand new, very young, and for a customer to take a risk with a system which is not been tested was a massive sign of confidence on Netsol. Netsol have proven them with their knowledge. So this credibility gave them the courage to sign with us such a massive deal for 12 countries. Normally, this is not the case. Normally, you have to sell to a small customer first, multiple customer, 10, 15, get your system tested, debug it, get it matured, and then a big company will come and talk to you. This is what happened to our first version, not in this case, simply because the knowledge we have shown to the customer, the maturity we have shown in our understanding of the business was the key for us to get that big break in 2015. So that was taken, and the biggest challenge was to deliver to China market. As I explained to you, 2 years of work in China market of 31 customer, 150 tester from the customer side, 70 from our side, 250 people sat in the big halls and tested the system. By the time it went live in 2018, system was now a real business system, and it was acknowledged around the world that China going live is the key to custom being a very mature system. Because of that, we got our second big break with the second German customer who then who's gone live just 3 months back. They also gone live. Again, a massive implementation. The main system is divided into 3 modules. They're separate modules. Customer can acquire just one, or they can get 3. Most customer will get the complete solution, front-end point of sales, and then the contract management system, and then the wholesale management system. So most customers have got all the complete modules, all 3 modules. Some has got 1 or 2 modules. Ascent is a brand new platform system. We are going into digital era. The system is complete, giving access to our customers with all interfaces, complete interfaces to all fintech innovations, I would say that. So this is a complete solution with complete interfaces with all platforms of today. And that's why the system was taken so well by the 2 largest German companies. We are very cost effective. We have a massive cost arbitrage compared to our competitors. Our competitors, most of them, one is in France, 2 from USA, 1 from UK. The 4 companies we compete with, and we give them a true competition. And mostly we don't compete just in price. We compete with our knowledge, we compete with our delivery and our ability to deliver sooner than our competitors. They have a smaller teams, the cost is very high, we have a large team. So our ability to deliver the changes and our ability to deliver a system sooner than our competitor was the key for us to be selected by the big names. So that what we have managed, we deliver very quickly. Yes, we took 2 years to deliver China, but going forward, other customer will have very short time because they will not need to test the system for that magnitude because customers know the system has been tested by massive two big German companies in China. So going forward, short period, quick delivery, and at a lower cost to the customer and lower cost to us also. But we don't compete in price. We charge the same dollar as our competitors. We charge the same license value as our competitors. But competition and the value comes from the way we can deliver in a shorter period. So when you deliver a shorter period, the cost is lower. And plus, customer can get to their business sooner than otherwise they have to wait for longer period. So that's the edge we offer to our customer. When we say cost effectiveness, it's not that we are offering them a lower dollar per person basis, it's that we can deliver sooner. So they can get to a new business quicker than our competitor. That's what we are doing there. But in no way we are selling them at a lower price compared to other European or American companies. We believe this domain knowledge is what the customer pay, and we deserve to get the value which they pay to others. Ascent is now live in 17 customers. We have generated over, well, I think this number is small. We already generated over $100 million revenue from it in a just short period. Long way to go, long way to go. A very young system and a massive market, a global market we are expecting to look forward. So our excitement is coming from the fact that now we have reached a maturity in Ascent after four years, and we are looking forward to a totally different second market. We did well in Asia. We took Chinese market completely. Now there's a market to be taken in North America and European market. Massive lenders looking for solutions. Most companies still using old systems. Very difficult to replace your systems. It's a massive exercise. It will take about $100 million for a bank to replace the system, but they have to replace. So there are customers to be taken, and we are geared and ready to take any size of a customer today. In 2019, we now decided to obviously go cloud. Now Ascent is now cloud enabled, and we already have launched it. That's a very totally different market. Totally different market we're going to target compared to what we market today. Our big ticket customer will be happy to maintain their own system, but we have a massive customer base, a second tier lender, which will be happy to go cloud and just use our system. So that's a new market we want to have, which we have not done in the past. This now is our next phase of live, where we now go cloud completely. 2020, we're going our first implementation live in Europe and North America. So that's a big break for us in those two huge markets waiting for us to be tapped. As I said, Ascent is a digital ecosystem completely, and our customers are using Ascent with all the today's technology, and it's really a state of art for them. Whatever the instrument they need to use, whatever platform they use, Ascent is very friendly to these platforms. Just a few more small apps we are managing, mobile accounts, mobile. So we are totally in digital formation. We are totally in digital era now. Our system is totally digital friendly. Mobility. The last few years, the car ownership has changed. How people were buying cars. Now people want to use car, or people want to subscribe car. So we have launched our next platform. Again, it is coming out of Ascent, but it's an independent solution. It's a solution which allows companies or people to subscribe cars now, sort of leasing or financing, this can subscribe the auto vehicle. We have a good now platform in Thailand. We're successfully managing that, where people can now pick up a car for a few days and then just pay that rental for a period and then leave that car away. It's not like a rental car, but it's more a subscription of a car. That is now the newest investment we have made and upcoming for us. We have got some very interesting lead in North America at the moment for the autos. So that's our new target market. It's on subscription base. We will white label it and we'll let companies use our app. Doesn't need to be using our name for that. So that's a totally different segment market completely. Fully cloud enabled, fully SaaS. And then so I believe most customers will take our app and then they will offer their own product through our app going forward. 3D world, this is again our entry into digital. It's 3D mapping. Recently, we just got our own facility into 3D completely. We can track everyone working, wherever they're working now, through 3D mapping completely. It's an app. And at my dashboard, I can see who's sitting on what desk, where they're moving, are they sitting or not, are they checked in or not. So it's a complete system of life cycle where we are in control of the teams, and they could be around the world. People in China, I can see them. People anywhere in Netsol's office, we can see who's sitting at what desk. It's a 3D visualization of work environment. Very exciting. Bloomberg in London, they're using this system. We believe this is going to be very exciting going forward for the work environment. Welcome to the financial numbers. We had 4 good years. We did very, very well, extremely well, gradual growth. Though we had a new product in the market, but we did comfortably well for 20% of growth for that period. But then from here over 19, now we are focusing on SaaS. What we decided in 2019 that, yeah, license sales is great. They were exciting. We get millions of dollars upfront. We get customers. But a bigger segment of the market is in the SaaS market. So we have changed our track. Now we encourage customer, instead of taking a license and paying us upfront license fee, let them cut their cost, upfront cost, and let them give them a service where they will pay us on a monthly basis. And for them, it's great. They don't have to come up with $10 million or $15 million upfront to get a new system. Here they get the system, installed for them, implemented for them, and they just start running their business. We get paid per transaction. There are different mode of agreements with the different customer. This is going to be exciting. This will give a new tier of customers. From big ticket, now we can enter the massive second tier, third tier market, where a small brokerage house lending about just $20 million, they can use our service. They don't need to spend $1 million. They need to spend $200,000. Now this is where we're very excited. We can take as many as customer on our cloud using a SaaS model. There's no number to that. Now that's our next future market, which we're working on. So we'd see a dip there because we started encouraging customers to go with us on SaaS, and we will forego the license. So working with the 3 customers now, and revenue impact will come. Obviously, see the SaaS impact later on. There's an image, we can see a dip. That's a short term, a little bit, few more quarter, but ultimately SaaS will start coming in. As number of customers joining us in SaaS, we'll start seeing number growing. But SaaS is more reliable, more predictable revenue. And we like that. We want to be very predictable of revenue. We don't want to wait for licenses or sign big contracts. We want more number of customer, which will provide us the revenue, which is predictable. So that's our target. So a little dip in 2020. I believe it's a short-term dip. We believe that it will not last very long in that term. Same goes for our gross profit. Growth was there. And then again, we saw the dip, same converting from our top line to the gross profit, net profit. I believe that our profit margins be higher. I'm not satisfied with our profit margins for the last 8-9 years, simply because we were investing and we were too much in development R&D. It takes time and money to develop systems like Ascent. We have done that. So I'll be not happy if our margins don't go higher, because new customers will require less development on the system, and we can deliver in a sooner period. So going forward, I will want to see bigger margin, much bigger margins. As a product company, it does that. We are not a service company at all. As I said, our services come to our product. So we truly product, our margin needs to be higher. Not happy today, but I don't see any reason why we'll start seeing better margin. Doesn't matter what top line is. I want to see a much margin. I want to see much more profitability from a small sale, more profitability. I think that will happen. That will, because simply product is maturing, and we don't need to increase our cost more. Yes, we are hiring more people, that we will continue to do, but there's no need to develop more investment in development of system. Yes, we do a lot of R&D in new platforms. We're working on blockchain. Some of the modules are doing that. We're working on AI, machine learning. So we have a shop, okay, but that will not hamper into major cost increment with that. Interestingly, I had shared with COVID, for some it was didn't go well. For us, it has changed the perspective. We work from home now. I have a campus which is empty. It was a massive campus, massive. I'm the only one sitting here in office. Everybody's working from home. I don't know what to do. I don't know, convert it into a hotel or what. I'm not sure what to do with it. But it works. We work from home. And yeah, a small group will come to office to handle together, but most will work from home. I think this will become normal. I think this will be the way to work. And so the cost of managing will be different now, much different now. A lot of costs gone. All the transport we created, the huge systems we created, huge maintenance we created, all that cost is gone. So, and now we are having people to work from anywhere in the world for us. That's a change. People who are coming from different cities into Lahore, they're working from home. We give them their devices, and it's just that they're in Lahore. So this is amazing how it worked out for us, at least. It's an amazing change for us. So as a CEO, I believe that today, 2021, still most of our people work from home. We will not encourage, even after vaccine, I believe it will suit them. They will have more quality time, and we get better production when they work from home. So I believe that work ethics and work environment has changed completely, for us at least. And benefit for us is we'll have people working for us anywhere in the world. Now they could be anywhere in the world, and they can just log in and do our development or anywhere. So that's a great change for us, at least. We are very excited about that. And so yeah, that was a great thing happening in COVID, not for many people, but for IT industry, it was a really great change for us. Awards and achievements. I don't know. We keep talking about the Exports Award, but yeah, I mean, I agree with even Asif. I was listening to him, and he was very honest with that, and I totally agree. Our numbers are very minuscule. Numbers are not to be proud of, and so I'll just pass it. I'll just take it out of it. But we have to do better numbers. I believe that we are very mature now. Just to share with you all, Pakistan IT industry has matured up. I'm here 25 years now, and I see maturity. One more thing has changed. That 10 years ago, we were shy of talking about Pakistan. We'll not tell the customer we are coming from Pakistan. We'll use different countries as our base. Not anymore. Today, we sell from Pakistan. We're very proudly telling, and we label it made in Pakistan. So that's a great change. For me, that's a great recognition of Pakistan. I'm really, my work for, I remember in 2002, with the market crash terrorism, my US board was really go after me to move out of Lahore and go to Sri Lanka or to wherever. I refused to do that. I said, no, we'll stay in Pakistan. We're a Pakistani company, and I'm glad we did that. I'm glad that we didn't listen to the US board, and we stayed in Pakistan. And today, there's paying price. Pakistan is doing very, very well. I believe that there's a maturity. I'm very excited about our future of Pakistan IT, and for ourselves, I believe that there'll be great opportunities for us, all of us. Just quickly, I think I've taken a lot of time already taken. As I said, from traditional license, SaaS, that's the key. Yes, we'll sell licenses. Big ticket will come. There'll be few big ticket deals every year, inshallah ta'ala, we will take them. But we want many more customers. We want we can handle multiple customers at the same time. We can have one server taking care of 10, 20, 30 customers anywhere in the world. That's the plan. And we are geared up. Our system is now ready for SaaS business. We already got 3 customers. I believe that we'll see change in our revenue. Very difficult to tell you a quarter or two. I don't want to go into that. I think we have come a long way. I believe that our numbers will show in coming quarters, and the change will be there. Less license, more from SaaS and more from services out of our product. Guys, that's all I had in the slides. I could go on. The story is long, but I think people could ask questions.
Oh, thank you so much. This was fascinating, and I'm really delighted to hear this story. And you and your company, and we are proud of that as Pakistanis. I remember when I graduated from LUMS in 2003 doing computer science, Netsol was one of the, the employers where people wanted to get work and wanted to join. And I think some of my colleagues and class fellows went there as well. So it's great to hear what you're doing. As a tech analyst, I've covered companies similar in your space, not in auto finance, but in, I've covered companies like Temenos, Atos, Mises, FIS. So what you were saying is exactly, the major structural trend which is happening globally. And it's interesting that those companies are trading at like 50 to 60 times earnings multiples. So clearly there's an opportunity. Your company looks very attractive from that perspective. So I have 2 questions, and then we'll go to the questions which have come from the audience. The first is, generally in similar product company space, there has been a lot of consolidation which is happening. If I look at the US companies like FIS, etc., every year they make like 2 or 3 acquisitions. Temenos is doing similarly. In your space, has there been consolidation? And B,
Ali, it's a very good question. It's a good question. We have seen some consolidation in Europe. We have seen multiple mergers. We also acquired 2 companies about 15 years ago. We have been very quiet in this period. We have constant eye on companies. We don't require a big company. We will not. Though even we have the funding or we have the resources, we will not. Because we believe that we can build ourselves to that number, but we will acquire technologies. So our aim is to acquire companies with technologies, so we can fast track. We don't have to then invest into R&D that much. So that's the key. Yes, we are in the market. People are always looking for us, and we'll surely be acquiring, but not with a big value, because we believe that we don't need to go to that value. We will grow ourselves. We are mature now. No need to acquire in that level, but so acquisition will be at a technology level. New platforms level, but not as a business level. I don't believe we will do that. I believe that we want to grow with our own speed now. See, there's always an exponential growth time. We have not seen that yet, but I believe that we've reached a delta where from here, we have to. We have done all. We have the people, we have the product, we have the customer. 3 things you need, Ali, to grow. We have to have a product which is credible, mature, tested. So we got it, yeah? We got the people. We have people with 25 years of experience in the domain. They're gurus. They're amazing. I mean, they will find a solution for customer ka dimag kharab ho jata hai. They just get, how did they find a solution? They're so good, these kids are. We got that. And then we have some of the best names in the world running our system. Who better than a Daimler or a BMW or Toyota, Hyundai of the world running your system to manage their portfolio? Come on, you can't get better than that. So 3 things. No reason why we cannot especially grow.
No, absolutely. And in fact, for me, the surprising thing is that I'm surprised that you have not been acquired, because right now private equity companies in Europe are looking for targets. They're desperate for targets of size. There are very few companies which of the size of 200 million to $1 billion EV. And if I look from my hat as as somebody who's worked in tech and dealt with these private equity companies, I would have thought that you would have been acquired by now. So I find it surprising that that hasn't happened. But is there something like, if I know, of course, you're a publicly listed company, so there is a certain responsibility in terms of the disclosure on that. But is there something which is, if somebody approached you, would you be willing to have a conversation, or You don't want
Ali,
to sell.
look. One should always have the open mind, always. But we haven't reached our potential yet. I think it'll be unfair with the investors, shareholders. Let us get to a potential which is the real value. This is not the real value. This is not the real value of the company, either in Karachi or in NASDAQ. So I will not even think about it. But once we have got the value where people have invested for, then always keep your mind open. Don't be stubborn. We have worked very hard. I will not lose this company, my company, to somebody else. But my shareholders, they say, Salim, go and get acquired. So I believe that this is not the time. We have not got the potential we deserve. So let's wait some more time. Let's grow exponentially now, and then who knows? Who knows?
Got it. Thank you. That's very clear. Moving on to the questions, there's a question from Nafis. He's at EFU. He's asking that you mentioned that NFS Accent has been rolled out in 7 out of the 12 markets where you get the contract. Has the total license fees already been recognized, or will it be done when you roll out in the remaining 5 countries?
It's gradual. Not all are recognized yet. So it will go, on the period of how we deliver. And our revenues still will come through different deliveries. We'll do that. So not all has been recognized yet.
There's another question follow-up on the same theme, and from RFB, MCB RFB Asset Management. And Abdul Sattar is asking that, do you think that your product NFS Accent can win more contracts? Because we saw this $100 million deal, which was in 2016-17. But since then, there hasn't been any big announcement. So do you still think you can get a big ticket size deal, or do you think it will be more shift towards the subscription revenue, which you're talking about in terms of the move to cloud?
We already got 2 big deals, not one. One big deal was 2015, 16, then the 18. Again, a German giant. We have more happening. There's bigger life for this application. Again, remember, they have huge lenders with huge portfolios, and global market is limited to a supplier. There are multiple 4 or 5 companies offering the solution, and not all of them are ability to take more than few customers at the big ticket level. So there's a room, there's a pipe for waiting for us. There are a lot of customers need to replace the old system. Even our own customer in China, they're still using our first generation system. What happens to them? So there is a lot more to happen. So big ticket is not going anywhere. But why we go SaaS is we want more. We want more and more customer at a smaller revenue, but more. So we have a bigger chunk of revenue. So there are 2 different segments of we will maintain. So we will maintain license, but our sales cycle now go for SaaS. If a big ticket comes in, ask for license, we say, okay, would you like to go for SaaS? Because I will prefer SaaS because we have a more revenue longer run. So SaaS is preferred for us because give us more revenue and more predictable revenue. So we are preferring that. But no, yes, there are customers out there who will need the solution.
Thank you. I'm jumping to a question because it's linked with it with some Vijay et al. And he's asking that, can you comment on customer concentration in terms of revenues, which you have? And secondly, how much of the revenues are recurring? I suspect a very high portion should be recurring for you.
First of all, Asia is the center of our customers. In that, China is the largest number of customers, one country. But then we have customers in Australia, New Zealand, Japan, Indonesia. So Asia is considered, last 15 years was Asia focus. So we got the market here. But the question I think comes from consideration 1, China is the most contributed. And if you want a percentage of for maintenance, it's 60%. 60% is the maintenance revenue, recurring revenue.
Okay.
We call them recurring revenue. Maintenance and services and change requests, that's a very predictable revenue, I would say that.
Got it. So 60% recurring, China being the largest. What about in terms of customer, a single customer? How much would a single customer, your largest customer, how much of your revenue comes from that?
Look, 2-3 customers are large. They contribute a quite sizable percentage to the revenue. But they're long-term customers. Like My two largest customers are very recent customer. So they just invested however $100 million. So they have to continue. Like it or not, they have to continue for another 10 years. Otherwise, they will not recover their revenue investment. So
Absolutely.
These customers are long run.
And what about the difference between the margins in SaaS versus license margins? What's the difference?
But license is a good. I like this big chunk check comes to me. I like that check of few $1 million at a time. But SaaS will generate a lot more revenue through many customers with a very high margin because my interface will be low. See, in SaaS, I will not take any changes at all. System will be used as it is. I like that. I can then use my resources to develop new products. At the moment, to support our big license customer, our people are very busy, constantly working for them. But in SaaS, we give them a box, just use it. You can't have change at all. Change will be very expensive for them. So they will be happy to. So we like those customers, hundreds of them, like Microsoft. Just use Microsoft Word, no changes at all. We want to go to that end. We want to be a Microsoft of leasing, financing, where you use our system, no changes at all. Yeah, we will have the changes. We will announce that change and we'll upload that change for you, like Microsoft does a new version. But so our cost will be much lower to maintain SaaS, much lower.
Got it. And there's a question that what's your average ticket size, your average revenue per customer? What's the churn rate? I'm assuming that your clients should be very sticky. So is your churn rate like 100%? But what's the average ticket size in China versus the average ticket size in Europe and versus other markets you operate in?
Ali, the question is regarding the license and total package when we sell?
Overall revenue, yes, exactly. A normal customer, how much?
New deal? Are you talking about a new deal?
He's asking for average. So I'm assuming that, when you typically what's your average deal size, ticket size?
Look, we did a deal of $100 million with bundled countries. We did a deal of $40 million, one country alone. Average size ticket will be around $10 million, around 10. This is the low end.
Got it.
A mid-tier Chinese customer will invest about $10 million. Out of that, the license will be about $4 to $5 million. Rest will be services to implement that. So service brings a lot of high-end revenue for each license we sell.
Got it. There's some excellent questions from Hamza Mateen. I love his questions. The first is that he's asking.
I love Hamza. Tell him I love him.
He's listening. So he's asking that, do you have any plans to diversify into related financial industry products such as insurance or banking, given the fact there's so much growth happening in this and you have a great product and you have talent? And the second question is that, are you open to local industry acquisitions in the local market as well for talent or diversification?
First question first. There's a debate going on every day. We debate diversification. But then we can always come back. There's so much more we can add into the system within its own branches, which is already doing well. If I go to insurance, I have to reestablish myself. I have to reestablish my credibility from scratch. It will take 10, 15 years. When it's financing and lending and leasing, I'm a guru. I'm accepted as a guru now. So whatever I bring in, it'll be sold very quickly. So the debate stops here. I say, okay, let's add within more modules, add more mobility, add more digitalization, bring in machine learning, so the system becomes smarter, and so we can get a better value. So for a period, it's an interesting debate. Sometime there were heated arguments among the board and among our teams. Why don't we diversify? Why can't we add banking? Why don't we add the treasury or insurance? Same discussion. You have to establish your credibility from anew. Do you want to do that? Where there's so much more you can do. There's such a bigger market waiting for you. European market is so big, we haven't captured that. African market, Asia, so there's such a big market we have not tapped yet. Why don't we continue to enhance our expertise in the same domain and add more functionality, more modules? There's so much more we can add. So I think, so it always comes back to that. So that's the answer to the first one. And answer is not at the moment, but surely, again, as I said, we should always be open to ideas. look, local acquisition at the moment, we have zero revenue from Pakistan, zero. And again, our price was so high that local, borrowers wanted our solution. Politely, we said, look, we are a bit costly for you. It doesn't make sense for you to take our system. Definitely, we will always keep an eye on local small, but again, I said tech companies, definitely acquire. I said that earlier, and Hamza's question goes back. We will definitely acquire companies with tech special skills, areas we are not working on. Definitely, they're a play. They're a play for us, and we'll go after them.
Got it. We have time for one more question, and there are a lot of questions. So unfortunately, I won't be able to ask all of them. And there's a question that in terms of the margins, so question from Taha, and he's asking that the margins on maintenance versus the margins on licensing, how big is the variance?
Every license gets 20% as a maintenance every year. So if I sold a license for $1 billion, we will get $200,000 per year to maintain that, plus changes they will require. So our revenue is not just that one maintenance fee we get. Our revenue also comes from the change, because this business is evolving, constantly evolving. We're very busy changing. We are busy charging our customer for change they want. They're very lucrative at a very high rate. So revenue comes in that. So yeah, a 20% is the maintenance fee. It's a standard. From 18 to 22%. It's a global standard. So we can negotiate. If a big deal, it could be down to 18%. If it's a small deal, 22%. All depend upon that.
And what about the profit margins on each?
Look, license is a profit. Our system is developed. System is already done.
Got it.
So I'll give you a disk, you take it, give me $1 million. That's my margin. But maintenance, of course, I maintain people. For maintenance, I've got people, I pay them salaries, I maintain the facility. So maintenance has that cost. But license, it is the cost already taken, developed. Today, it's my profit. So more license sell, that's more in my kitty as a profit. It's a lump sum coming. I use that to do more work.
Great. Thank you so much. This was fascinating. And as I said earlier, that we are proud of the work which you're doing, and it's companies like this which makes me at least optimistic about Pakistan. And you run a top-class company which is a global standard in your niche market. And as you said, your market is growing. You have a new product, and you're already replacing the legacy product which existed. So there's a huge runway. And I'm sure the shift towards the cloud-based system will help you get more customer of smaller size. And the two venture products which you mentioned, the cars on subscription, that also sounds very interesting. So I'm sure there's a fascinating journey, an exciting journey for Netsol ahead. And as you said earlier, that you expect the revenues to be growth to be pick up, and you expect the margins to be higher as well. So, we as investors are always looking for that inflection point. We like companies where the future is better than the past. And Netsol certainly seems to have a much better future, although it has a great past behind as well. So thank you, Salim Saab, for that.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Really appreciate that.
My pleasure.